and I'm here coming back from a little bit of hiatus. I had a busy few weeks with work and such, but I'm back working on some deck tech videos, and I'm excited to announce that this next Tuesday I'm actually going to be participating in the early streamer access event for War of the Spark for MTG Arena, which is amazing. Wizard of the Coast had provided me a free account, and I can use that temporary free account to access all the new cards from the new set, and also participate in the sealed events that are going on during that time. Overall, I think it's going to be a blast. I'll be starting it at 5 o'clock p.m. Well, 5 o'clock or 5:30, it's a little bit tricky because I have to make sure that I get the setup since I'm doing a new setup with one of my friends that I'm borrowing his setup with. So that'll be at 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, April 23rd, and we're going to go all the way to 10 o'clock. I wish I could do longer, but I do work, so I got to keep that in mind. Nevertheless, I thought I would get that quick announcement for those who haven't. I will post a link to my Twitch channel in the description below, so that you can at least either subscribe or at least get ready for the Tuesday shenanigans. Anyway, for today though, we're actually going to do a really cheeky deck that I really wanted to play with before we have access to a ton of new cards thanks to War of the Spark. And I call the deck Advising the Afterlife. It's an Esper deck. No, it's not Esper Control, but it's actually more of a cheeky, kind of an Orzavi token deck with a fun little gimmick in here. Most of the people who follow me and such wanted me to do a Persistent Petitioners deck, which for people who don't know how this card works, you can put as many of these as you can in your deck, but its basic gimmick is you can tap for Advisors and nail your opponent 12 cards from their library. Now, you're probably asking why I only have 2 in here. The reason being is I have another way to get some more Advisors. One of the things I noticed right off the bat is how Teysa Karlov is actually coincidentally an advisor. And I know that her main gimmick, as people who know Teysa, if a creature dies, causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Also, as well, our tokens have Vigilance and Lifelink. So I kind of thought about this and I thought, what if we put all the Afterlife cards, such as Type Taker, Orzhov Enforcer, Minister of Obligation, Seraph of the Scales, and even some that have just nifty synergies with Teysa, such as Alinda, which is the no-brainer, and actually then use something along the lines of Arcane Adaptation, naming Advisor, so that all of our tokens will be advisors, as well as spirits or vampires, depending on what dies and such, and actually mill our opponent through a bunch of advisor tokens. I originally was having this iteration, I was going to do it on a goblin token deck, but the more I realized it actually works a lot better with spirits, along with also stuff like Teysa Karlov, it's actually a pretty good synergy. I also put some tech cards in here as well. I put in Seal Way to help against early game stuff, Mortify's in here to help deal with problematic creatures and enchantments, as well as Settle the Wreckage to help against aggressive decks. I throw in Vraska's Contempt against Planeswalkers, Chemist's Insight for card draw, and some top-end cards that are really good with the deck. Immortal Sun, we're a token-based deck, so giving our creatures the buff plus the additional card draw is nice, also hates against Planeswalkers. Ethereal Absolution makes absolute sense. It helps us make tokens, it makes our tokens buff and make their creatures weaker. Also, a card that's exclusive in Arena, Inspiring Commander. 4 white for 1/4. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. This one is kind of a no-brainer. We have a lot of creatures, as well as our tokens are going to be 1 or less, essentially, or even power 2 or less, so it synergizes ridiculously well. Even it synergizes with our late game drops, except for Settle the Scales. It synergizes with Alinda, since it enters in as a 1/1, Teysa Karlov, and just add a 2/2. So we use this as both additional life gain and card draw as well. As for our lands, I have 1 of each basic. I put in 3 Glacial Fortress, 4 Hallowed Fountain, 4 Godless Shrine. I do not have enough gems to try to blink all the lands of this deck. 4 Isolated Chapels, 2 Drowned Catacombs, and 4 Watery Grave. I could tweak the mana base a little bit more, like I was really tempted to put in Memorial to Glory, but I think it's a little too slow with the overall deck archetype that we're doing. Nevertheless, the sideboard doesn't really matter here. These were just cards I was considering putting in the deck, like Pitiless Plunder helps us generate stuff, because I was going with originally a Liliana strategy with splashing red for goblins. Shalai, you could probably mainboard if you want to take out one of these cards to help protect your stuff, and there's other stuff to consider. Nevertheless, let's play a few rounds to advise the Afterlife, shall we? Gonna get a drink of water real quick. Okay, we're going against... I don't know what that says, so forgive me for not being able to read that. Anyway, we have Minister, we have Teysa, we have Mortify, we have a Petitioner. We can play out the Petitioner just early, just to get it removed pretty easily, just in case to fish out one of the removals, so I don't mind that much. We're going to play Water Grave tapped. So black, white, vampires? Nope, just the life gain shenanigans. I'll just put this in tap. I'll save this since this is mostly one of our primary win conditions. What they're probably going to play is something life gain oriented, such as that. Make it Johnny big, swing in with a free. Owie, that hurts, but we're just going to mortify that. We don't want to get that into something we can't answer. And we have a choice. I think I'm going to play the Minister of Obligation. There we go. Yeah, it's just like a Aegon inheritance. They just want to try to win by pinning ourselves little by little. I think what I'm going to do is play Priest of the Forgotten Gods, and then Sail Away. Mostly because while Priest of the Forgotten Gods is perfect in our deck, because we can sack and get more tokens out of it, I'm using this, though, to fish out what usually these decks run, which is like a exile type effect, which apparently this deck doesn't. At least at the moment, we haven't seen. So we're going to play ourselves the Scares, good blocker at the very least. We're not going to attack. And if they want to make it a 5/5, so it doesn't trade, and even then, they can't stop the trade because we can give it Death Touch. But they might have a removal, so we got to keep that in the back of our brain. They decided to just go with the life gain. Yeah, they're primary a life gain deck, as you can tell. Well, there's that Mortify we needed. This can kill us pretty soon. And we have other ways to deal with creatures in the deck. Like, we could just play a Persistent Petitioner at the moment. Or we could just play a Minister of Obligation. We could do that. We could just play this as well. Here's what I'm thinking. That's 4. We're going to do it like this. I'm going to play this. And then I'm going to activate this. We're going to sack. I'm going to sack that, sack that. That gives us at least 4 spirits. They'll sacrifice something, probably their Bishop Soldier if I have to make a guess. No, they decided to sack that. That's interesting. Okay, then that gives us a chance to use the extra mana to mortify this, because that would just be problematic pretty soon. We're going to let this enter untapped. And there we go. They draw a card. I could have probably played that a little bit more better. Like, I could have probably had the Teysa out and then sacrifice, like, a Minister's. Sacrifice the Angel to just get 4 Angels right off the bat. I will admit to that, but it is kind of one of those trickier interactions, one could say. Okay, so we have Teysa, so now these have lifelink. I think I'm still going to just activate this ability, make the opponent sack. They're going to sacrifice the Allegiant without a sweat. Mostly just to see if we can draw into something. Nah. Okay, we'll play our petitioner just to play something. And mostly now we're just using these tokens as just blockers. We're going to block. They're going to activate the ability to make it a 5/5 so they can create another angel. Ugh. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kneel the deck. That's a good card to get out of their deck. We're going to target the player. Mostly I'm hoping to draw something like a Settle the Wreckage, or even something that could just help with card draw. We did not need the additional land. That could be game. Because they could just do 9. We can block the Vizier, or Vizier the Vampire. But yeah, they're going to make that 9. We're going to get ouch. And even if we gain the life gain, we'll just say good game. Oi, that was not a good matchup. That one I could have probably played a little bit better, if I'm being honest, but that one was a little tricky. Let us play another round the deck. Let us. That one's a hard one because you could have made an argument that I should have mortified actually just the angel rather than mortified the enchantment, but that was kind of one of those tricky ones. This is so close to a good hand. The problem is we don't have white source, but we have a 2-drop. We have our Cell of the Scares. We do have a 2-drop of Priest. I guess we can keep it, though I will say this is a risky keep. We're going to play Water Grave tapped. And it's mono red. Never didn't had it. Anyway, we're going to play that. We're going to play the Priest. We know it's going to get shocked as such, but it's better to just fish the shock out. No, opponent does not have the shock. At least I'm not showing it yet. This is interesting. I could just mortify this. I think I'm going to play Type Taker now. Not attack. Because I want to see what the opponent does. And then we're either going to play Seraph or mortify a bigger threat if they have it. That would not be a threat I would not mind mortifying. Okay. So we'll block here. We'll get ourselves a nice little spirit. I'm gonna play that. Yeah, I'm mortifying the Gutter Snipe. That could just be significant damage pretty quick, and if we don't have an answer to it, we do not have an answer to it. We're gonna keep these as both blockers. This looks like a budget mono-red deck, it looks like. Definitely budget. We can take the 1 damage now, because what we're going to do is just play Sell with the Scales. Yeah, I'll block here. They're going to prioritize the Angel, most likely. Makes sense. We'll get some tokens. That's actually perfect. We're just going to do Orzhov Enforcer, Orzhov Enforcer, not attack in. Mostly when you're going against mono red, they're mostly, as many people will note, they're aggro decks, so you just need to slow them down. If you slow them down to a significant point where they cannot do lethal to you, you should be fine. And I think we are getting at that cross point where we are slowing them down significantly. They do have burn, and they are just an experimental frenzy away from causing us havoc, so... Okay, decide not to attack in. We're going to take advantage of that and just play our Nether Cellar for the scares. I'm going to just attack with 2 angels, or not angels, blah, spirits. And see what the opponent does next. This is where they have experimental frenzy, and this is where the game will get interesting. Though they might just only have another burn spell in their hand. They're going to go to attackers. They decide not to attack. We're going to keep this. We're going to give this vigilance. Let this enter and tap. Attack, attack, attack. We're going to give this vigilance again. Kind of one of the least exciting games of the bunch. But yeah, we'll just attack, attack, attack. And pretty much we have lethal next game, so... Or lethal this next turn, unless the opponent's got something. Let's see if our opponent top decks. Vishiel Pyromancer's good. They're going to deal 2 to my face, probably. And what are they holding? They've been holding a card for quite a while. Ah, Fight with Fire. They were probably waiting for, like, a taste of Karlov or something like that. That I don't mind, because then one of them will die, which gives us the last spirit we need to do lethal. Good game, opponent. That's actually not a bad game. The opponent just had a good initial start, but then kind of slowed down, so... I wish we did the more cheekier mill plan, but hey, sometimes you just win by tokens alone, so... Let's play 1 or 2 more rounds, and then I should probably call this video a day, so... Okay, we're going to get someone named Yutaro. This should be interesting. Okay, we got 2 drops, we got some good late game. Yeah, that's a keep. Is it another mono red deck? We shall find out. It's definitely red something. Looks like mono red. Smells like mono red. Okay, we're gonna play Type Taker. And if we really need to draw a land to mortify. They're going to destroy the Type Taker. Most mono red decks do not like Type Taker since it does help them not do instant speed interaction like shocks and such. But yeah, they're pretty much... I like it because it wastes... He both had to waste a unit and a card, and we just drew the land we needed for the Mortify, which is perfect. Now the problem is you could have made an argument that I should have probably saved the Mortify for what's probably going to be Experimental Frenzy. Lucky enough, that is not the case. Yeah, we're going to play a Minister Obligation. It's just a good chump blocker. We get some tokens. And even then, they might just have the old second Goblin Chain Whirler, so we might just have to play into that. Okay, let's see if you have that second Goblin Chain Whirler. They probably do, but not always. Do they have the second one? No, they just have a burn spell. That's fine. So, we're just going to play that. We're not going to attack in the air. Mostly we're hoping now for another land so we can do Vraska's Contempt, one of their biggest threats if they have one. This match is usually hard against our deck, especially if we don't get any of our life gain synergies off the ground yet. We're just going to... This time I'm going to just block with Spirit, because if they do just Goblin Chain Whirl it, then we at least still get back our spirits. Okay, we got that. We haven't seen anything else from our opponent, so I'm just going to Vraska's Contempt. There's temptation to play Alinda during that turn, but the problem is they usually have at least a shock in their hand or something to deal with like a problematic creature or lightning strike, so we're just going to do that. Want to keep a blocker, especially if they have like a Get to Ravelrunner and such, so we're going to keep on the defensive still. And let's see what they play. Yep, more burn. More burn. They always top deck the Experimental Frenzy. Okay, so... Jokingly making that statement, I'm going to just play out a couple of creatures here. And we'll see if they top deck more burn. Uh-huh. 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 And these are the days where you wish you just hold it on your... We could just Priest of the Gun and Gods, which didn't give us... Cellar Wreckage is good at the moment, though. I think the Alinda is our best bet here. Because then what we're going to do... Target the opponent, for obvious reasons. Then we're going to sack this, and sack our Persistent Petitioner. A few creatures died. We're going to get some tokens that we can use as blockers. They're going to sacrifice that, which then is good, because then we can do that. We're going to let this enter in tap, because we will die if we don't. And we just gotta hope they don't top deck more burn. Highly unlikely, but we can hope. Okay, the only grudge I have against this deck is why are we in a meta where both light up the stage and this card is in the same standard? That's my only beef with this deck. Because, okay, one card draw engine that's relying on enchantment, that's not bad. Giving 2 card draw engines, though, that synergizes both with that deck archetype. This is kind of one of those ones where, if it weren't for the fact that we have a lot of life gain based synergies in the meta, that combo would have been overflowing and made standard obnoxious. Lucky enough it doesn't, but still. Why do we have 2 card draws in red? That I will never understand. Okay, let's see here. We have priests, we have petitioners, we have 2 drops, we have a seal away. We can keep this. Oh, we're going to get a token deck too. Nice. So we're going to put this in tap. Okay. We'll play the swamp. We'll pass the turn. My misplay there is I should have played the Hollow Fountain so that I could have just actually played the Sealed Away before he dealt damage to me. I don't know if that will cost me the game, but that was kind of a dumb move on my part, if I'm being honest. And they always have the War Leader. Ooh, boy. Yeah. We'll play that. I think we are dead. Ugh. Yeah, we're dead. If you can't answer the first Leonon War Leader attack, you're usually dead. Okay. We're probably going to get a version like that with Pavilion 2, so... This will probably be the last match we can make, and hopefully we finally get some cheeky shenanigans. We got Priest, we got Typhs. Yet again, I wish we had a Plains mana, but it's a keeper, so... Just because of the fact that we have a Priest of the Forgotten Gods on turn 2, so... Rakdos shenanigans. Ooh, aristocrats. Well, they're going to find this play a little familiar. The problem is now they're going to play 2 cheap 1-drops, most likely, or a 1-drop and a 2-drop. Use Priest of the Forgotten God to synergize, and have to make a sack, which is unfortunate. Doesn't look like that's the case. I'm not going to block in case of a combat trick. Though, I probably should have blocked just in case that they had, like, oh, what is it? Either light up the stage, or... Okay, so it's just traditional Rakdos. Okay. Okay. Seriously? Boy. Yeah, I gotta block this time. Do you have the combat trick? No, you do not. We're just gonna mortify this. We cannot let them have this enabler. We cannot. But we got the white mana source, so we can play Type Takers, so... Okay. We'll take the 3. And see what they play next. I'm almost tempted just to play the Tesa so that... Well... great. Please tell me they don't have a second drill bit in hand. It'll be interesting to see what they take out, though. Probably the Tesa. Maybe Vraska's Contempt. They decide to take out the Tesa. Do they have a second drill built? That they do not. Okay, perfect. We got another Glacier Fortress, which means we could play 1 Type Taker. 2 Type Taker. Synergize with this. Target the opponent. Get our Afterlife triggers. Now go ahead and sacrifice the Enforcer, I would believe. Makes sense. Can't play the card, so... Yeah, I'm gonna block this time. Okay, we get an isolated chapel, so we can both seal away this annoying acrobat. And then make him wonder why we're playing Arcane Adaptation. We're going to name Advisor. We're not going to attack. Okay, makes sense. Bedevil. Yeah, we're going to say no to that. Okay, this is a deck that has Judith written all over it. This is a... Okay, we're going to play this. We're going to seal away one of the tokens, as anticlimactic as that sounds. Rakdos Aristocrats. Yeah, we're going to draw some cards. Want that enter and tap. Yeah, we are getting rid of that. Okay, we're going to let this enter and tap. Let's see what nets our opponent has. Well, there's a Rekindling Phoenix. Do we draw an answer, or do we have to call a good game? I mean, it works. That was a pretty bad game. Okay. Okay, you know what? First time coming back, we're going to play one more game. break from the hiatus because I really want to try to get this combo to go off. Okay. Yeah, that's a decent hand. We are keeping that. And I guess we're going against someone that is going full on with the Rakdos Engraph gimmick. I'm guessing? Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to play the Enforcer. Okay, Mardu shenanigans. Interesting. We're going to play our Priest. We're not going to attack. I'm guessing they're playing the white for Deafening Clarion, if I have to make a guess. Though it could just be your... It could also just be your typical Mardu aristocrats, so I gotta keep that in the back of my brain. No, they don't. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna play Sarah of the Scales. Opponent's going to scry. And I have to decide, is the card draw worth just generating free tokens at the moment? I'm not going to do it now. I could do it on the opponent's turn. So, I'm not going to attack. It's just that I feel like there's a Deafening Clarion, because if they're playing red-white, usually they play the Deafening Clarion, and if they play that, I would rather be able to interact with it rather than having to go through shenanigans. So they flip their treasure map. What do they have? Smothering Tithe, eh? This must be a Revel in Riches deck if I have to make a guess. Lucky enough we have Mortify to answer the card, though we do need to draw it, so I might just actually trigger this now to try to dig into our deck a little bit more. We'll get some tokens. Opponent will lose 2 life, but we draw a card. And yes, you get a treasure, we know. And lucky enough, we can pay the 2. Unintentional synergy, everybody. Unintentionals. This time I will decline to pay the 2. We're going to dig out our deck a little bit more. We will pay that. We don't want them to draw. And honestly, we're just going to play Tithe Taker. And play a Persistent Petitioner just to get something on the battlefield. Though, if we want to, we could just play the Arcane Adaptation and just make them mill 12 cards right off the bat now, presuming they don't have a board wipe of sorts. My guess is what they're going to do is they're going to wait till they play the Revel in Riches, because this just feels like a Revel in Riches deck. No, they don't. They just decide to Kaya's Wrath. Okay. Interesting. That's another Tithe. Okay, this is going to get a little weird. Resolve all. Decline. Decline. Huh. Well, we might as well get this out of the way, so... Advisor. this is like an emergency powers deck of sorts. Feels like it. It feels... Okay, they try to draw a card. Cindervines. Okay. Well, even if we don't win this, at least we're going against a really cheeky deck, so... Gotta give credit where credit's due on that department. Resolve, decline, resolve, decline. Yeah, we're just gonna have to Chemistress Insight here. No tax. Gonna play this tapped. So yeah, they are full on the Phonetics with Engraph, so kudos where kudos is going. At least they're going full Phonetics. So yeah, I think we can definitely take out Settle the Wreckage. Resolve all, decline, decline. And honestly, bye-bye. We like our hand a lot, and we do not want it to get hated out and pin us more, so... this deck is finicky, I'm gonna say that. Well, does the Revel Enriches. So yeah, we really need to top deck that Mortify now. And that is not top decking a Mortify. We only have one theoretical chance here. We're going to do this, discard this. We're just going to say a good game to the opponent because, yeah, there's no way we're getting out of this. But hey, sometimes you just gotta... You have your off days in Magic, and it's fun just to have other people have some fun sometimes, so... It looks like they're going to win this because they will succeed the condition at this. So it resolves, and... Ah. Well, at the very least, with the last match, at least we lost to a cheeky win condition, so I can't complain. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to, you can catch me streaming some silly deck brewing shenanigans on Tuesday with the early access stream on April 23rd. I hope you all have a lovely day. This is LevDev, signing out. Bye-doo!